This is the tale of the Whispering Waves in FreshLand Season 4, Episode 3. The Journal of Dugrim, Entry 56. Today started just like any other. The sun rose in the sky, and the undead retreated back to their caves. Something about the light drives them away. I began my daily duties of tending to the local graveyard, trimming the bushes, replacing the wilting flowers, and keeping the freshly cut grass. Today was going to be a good, normal day. I spoke with my neighbors, purchased some of the freshly harvested carrots, and went for a walk around the village. We've had a strange new visitor coming and going from town recently. I have never seen anyone outside of our little village. Anything further than a day's journey would be certain doom, for the night brings with it the undead. He seems like some kind of warrior, and he wears the sturdiest of armor. Oh, and he doesn't look like anyone else from the village. Others, claiming to be friends of his, have also come to the village a few times, but today, it's him again. We don't speak the same language, but I'm not about to start learning what he's saying. I mean, I'm a part of the majority, so he should learn to speak like us. To his credit, he does occasionally say a few words of common sense, but typically he isn't saying anything recognizable. After the 5th time repeating myself, Mon Toy, you'd think he'd get through his thick skull. And today I gave him about 5 minutes of my time. All he was able to say was, "Wolf." I politely nodded my head. Yes, wolf. Bark, bark. But I think he grew frustrated with me because he didn't stick around for long today. Someday I think he'll learn. And the rest of the day was a quiet, typical day. Nothing much left to write down now. The Journal of Dugrim, Entry 62. I have barely begun my daily chores when Winter came strolling into town. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. I only just learned it yesterday. And like some kind of raving lunatic, he's jumping up and down, rambling about who knows what. He still hasn't learned our language. It's been nearly a week. How much time does he need to speak properly? I'm beginning to think most of what he's saying is actually nonsense, and there isn't a real word for what he's saying. Perhaps he thinks he's being funny. Maybe he realized I was pulling his tail about there being magical beasts, dragons, and death skeletons. Though to be fair, if you stay up late enough, any of the skeletons can be deadly. There was one thing that caught my attention though, and I'm not sure he knows what he's saying, but plague is a really old word for sickness. And having no idea what else he was talking about, I can't really tell if he was actually trying to say anything of importance. I do keep that thought in my head though for the rest of the day, as I walk through town enjoying the sun on my face, speaking with the people, and sharing poppies with the local golem. I stay vigilant and watch for any signs of distress or disease. I think Winter might be a little on the crazy side. Everything appears to be normal. The Journal of Dugrim, Entry 81. I woke up this morning and realized I haven't seen our new friends in a while. I wonder what they've been up to. Oh well. I'm sure it's nothing to do with us. As I did my daily chores this morning though, things seemed eerily quiet today. More so than normal. I'm usually one of the first people up in the morning so I can tackle my work in the cool morning air, and I don't usually hear more than 1 or 2 other villagers. But this morning, there was no wind, no singing birds, no crickets, just the soft footfalls of the golem. Later I went for my daily walk around the town, and I noticed something peculiar, something new. The underside of this small cliff seems to be breaking apart. I don't remember it being like that. I can't help but wonder if this was natural. I asked around town thinking some of the local kids might have been playing some new game, perhaps throwing stones there, but no one seems to know anything about it. I have a bad feeling, and I don't care much for change. I decided to spend a little extra time today lingering near the crumbling cliffside, hoping I could spot what was causing it to crumble. To my surprise, I actually witnessed it crumble apart on its own. It's still holding up, but it's definitely much more worse for wear now. The Journal of Dougram, Entry 82. Something really weird happened today, and I'm not sure I'll explain it clearly. I decided to head back to the cliffside first thing in the morning to see if anything had happened overnight. Indeed, it seems to have crumbled completely, but I didn't know it was hollow in there. I let my curiosity get the best of me, and I walked in to see what was on the inside. Perhaps something in there could explain why it was crumbling. I could hear the voices of some of my fellow villagers deeper inside. I suppose I wasn't the only one curious about this. And as I made my way further, I could see the light of some glowing wave. And I know I shouldn't put quill to parchment for this, but that was the source of the voices I was hearing. I had found some kind of whispering wave under the village. It was a faintly glowing purple wave, but it rested against the wall instead of in the floor. I don't know what came over me, but I needed to get closer to it, to touch it. With every step, the whispers grew louder and louder, though I could never make out what they were saying. I reached out, slowly at first, then plunged my hand, and before I knew it, my body into the wave. I don't know what happened after that. I only came back to my senses sitting at my desk, with this journal open, quill in hand, a few moments ago. It's dark outside. I guess I'll go to bed. The Journal of Dougram, Entry 90. I've successfully barricaded the entrance to the Whispering Wave. I believe now I am the only one who can know about it. It makes me feel younger, more energetic. I could possibly lead our people towards a larger and more fruitful future with this newfound strength. And I think it would be unwise to share its effects with the others just yet. I don't want anyone else deciding they know what's better for our people than I do. Speaking of which, Winter and his friends have returned a few times now, and I think it's time we ask them to leave us alone. I'm not sure what it is, but I can sense something off about them. And as I spend the afternoon bathing in the wave once more, I could feel the energies pouring into me. And I saw flashes of another place, other faces I haven't seen. There were large structures, bigger than I've ever seen before, thick jungles filled with houses, and a large desert with some kind of pyramid being built. And suddenly the whispers were becoming clear to me. These people weren't from here, from this world. I don't know why they're here, or what they did so bad to their last home that they had to come here, but they can't be trusted anymore. I have to get rid of them before they do the same thing to our home, to our world. The Journal of Dougram, Entry 102. I've spent every day in the wave, and I know many things now that I could never have dreamed to know. I know what happened to their world. I know why they're here. And I also know a lot of new magics to help us be rid of them. I wish today was a brighter day. There is much tragedy that occurred on this day. I was in my graveyard, practicing my new abilities, raising the skeletons of our deceased, to create an army to defend ourselves. The look of horror in their eyes, the misunderstandings of my would-be friends. I would make them understand. I would make them join me. With a flick of my hand, my new army grew in numbers as it cut down everyone around me. A small price to pay for the safety of this world. And with all this otherworldly knowledge swelling through my mind, I could reach out deep into the earth and raise a tower made of bones and stone. And with my source of power safely protected in this tower, I will send waves of undead relentlessly to rid this world of these trespassers. I will stop them. Thank you guys so much again for watching part 3 of my epic fantasy storytelling of FreshLand. I realize that what I'm doing is kind of strange in the context of an SMP, but I promise you something really neat is coming up that includes the other members. Be sure to subscribe for more FreshLand stories like this one, and you can find the links to all the other FreshLand members in the description below, along with the texture pack I am using. If you really want to help support what I'm doing and play on my personal server with me, be sure to join us on Patreon. At the $5 tier, you'll gain access to the World of Winter, where we're busy building a giant MMO RPG in the northern half of the world. All members get to play with me in the southern half of the world, and you get to playtest some of the neat features coming to the server. Play as one of 10 races with special racial abilities, and choose one of 7 classes when they're released to playtest them before anyone else. And if you made it this far into the video, be sure to tell me what your favorite part of this season of FreshLand is in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.